he says unto them, let us pass over to the other side. So isn't that interesting? The parable of the sower is, the sower sows the word into your heart. So here we have a perfect example. So Jesus is going to say, let us pass over to the other side. So he's now sown that word into their heart. Now, we'll take everything I've spoken about today, and now we're going to apply it. So verse 36. So remember now, we already have the word sown into their heart. And when they had sent away the multitude, they took him even as he was in the ship. And there was also with him other little ships. And there arose a great storm of wind, and the waves beat into the ship, so it was now full. And he was in the hinder part of the ship, asleep on a pillow. And they awake him, and say unto him, Master, carest thou not that we perish? And he arose and rebuked the wind, and said unto the sea, Peace, be still. And the wind ceased, and there was a great calm. And he says unto them, Why are you so fearful? How is it that you have no faith? So what I like about this, verse 38, and he was in the hinder part of the ship asleep on a pillow, and they awake him and say unto him, Master, carest thou not that we perish? Isn't this interesting? He says, don't you care that we perish? Now, before this whole event happened, if you went up to these disciples and apostles and said, does Jesus care for you? They'd say, oh, yes, brother, Jesus cares for me. Oh, I know how much Jesus cares for me. I know God loves me. I know how much God cares for me. And then Jesus sowed the word into their heart. Let us pass over to the other side. If Jesus says you're going to the other side, you're going to the other side. But when this storm arose, they said, Master, don't you care that we perish? Isn't that interesting? So why are they falling apart like a cheap watch? If you ask them before the storm came, do you believe Jesus cares for you? Oh, yes, brother, Jesus cares for me. I know it. Everything in me knows Jesus cares for me. But then notice the storm came, and then they said, Master, don't you care for us? We're going to die. Why are you back here sleeping on the pillow? Don't you care about us? We saw from last week that 1 Peter 5, great verse, casting the whole of our care unto him, for he cares for us. Right? That's that same word that where God's caring for us in 1 Peter 5 is the same word for care here in Mark 4, where, in other words, in 1 Peter 5, we can so cast our care and worry and concern over onto him because we know how much he cares for us. And yet these guys here saying, oh, Jesus, you don't care for us. You're back here asleep on a pillow, and we're in this storm. And these are hardened seamen, right? I mean, these people know the sea, they know the water, they've been in storms. So look, this is a pretty bad storm if they think they're going to die in it. And here Jesus is asleep on a pillow. Shows you the difference between what Jesus understood peace to be and what naturally people understand what peace to be. So in other words, what triggered this downfall? Before the storm, they would have said, oh, yes, God cares for me. Now you bring the storm into the mix, and they say, oh, God, don't you care about us? Jesus, you don't care about us? You're going to let us die in the storm? They fell apart like a cheap watch. Why? Because they only understood naturally, out of their natural mind, what God's care for them was, even though if you asked them, they would have said, oh, brother, I understand it in my spirit.